Hi there, Liz. This is Michael, and you are one of my TOEFL students. And I'm looking at the essay you're working on, I think, yesterday. So you put together an introduction based on the topic, what is the most important quality of a good roommate, right? So I read over the essay. Right now, I'm going to put you at 3.5 out of 5, 22 points out of 60. Now, I think you would probably, it's very easy for you to get a higher score here, but let's look at why I gave you the score that I did. So, I think you can probably improve your thesis a little bit better. I'd recommend that. That would help improve your connection of ideas. I think one of your paragraph, the final paragraph, you could probably do a little bit better with that too. You tried to focus in too many different areas. Now, if this were the midterm or the final exam, I'd be comfortable giving you right now 82% on this. Now, the question is, what can you do to make this better, right? So the first thing is, instead of in addition here, I'm going to put in addition there. And then you can end with something like lastly or finally. But then here you have hard worker, have positive attitude, and desire to be better. That's too many different things. So should be, let's get rid of all. I'm going to say positive attitude and just say the third important quality of a perfect roommate is that she should be optimistic. That's it. Or you go here, another important quality of a perfect roommate is, how about considerateness? Understanding and considerateness have the same meaning, so there's no need to say that twice. Now, the next thing is, I think it's better if you take this point, and that point, you actually put it in the thesis. So what does that look like? So should I have the following three qualities? You have interactiveness, or how about effective communication style? Let's do that. Now let's go to the next key point. So we have considerateness, or understanding is the same thing. So effective communication style, understanding, and optimism. So what I did is I took should have, and we don't even really need this, really, do we? Just get rid of that. So a perfect roommate should have an effective communication style, understanding, and optimism. So then our thesis is a little bit more focused, and we didn't really have to spend too many more words doing that. The hard part, see, is you got to come up with these words here. And I think just by saying these three words and then referring them here, it's showing you have good grammar, and also you have a little bit better control over your vocabulary. So let's take a look at this paragraph. A perfect roommate should be open and willing to communicate. There will be conflicts among roommates. When problems or conflicts arise, roommates must openly discuss the issue and quickly reach a solution to the problem. Last month, how about last month for example, and that helps introduce this idea. I had a conflict with my roommate about the food. How about the food I kept? This is where you run into some language use problems because you're talking about something that happened in the past. The food I kept in the fridge kept disappearing. And this is where you need to work on using more advanced grammar. How about which annoyed me? Then you can say something like, as a result, I wrote a note on the fridge. Well, if you just said this, you can put, I wrote a note on the fridge, and then put this in quotations. My food has been running away from home lately. When I read this for the first time, I laughed. You made me laugh here. My food has been running away from home lately. If you know where it goes, please let me know. So you have the next day, my roommate Jay apologized. His car broke down. And let's use this. So he couldn't go to the supermarket. As, how about thus? Yeah, that's another thing to help you. You're not using enough transition words. How about this? Thus he had been eating the food in. I think you guys are sharing it, right? I'm going to say our fridge without telling me he was sorry. He made a simple apology, and I stopped being angry. This is the power of communication. How about this? Which is why it is an important quality then you might put here can resolve all conflicts. There you go. You could probably say something like that. So that would be some changes I might make to this particular paragraph to help you do a little bit better. So I think you can do better. For example, I added, for example, I put as result. I also put the word thus in there to help make the connection of your ideas a little bit better. So I'm going to recommend for you is think of maybe 4 or 5 transition words that you can use to help connect your ideas together. Based on your score, what are some things that you can do to improve your writing, right? So I'm going to put a link into the email to my TOEFL Independent Writing Strategies webpage. And here are the parts of the lesson I want you to focus on when you go to this webpage. So one of the most noticeable things here is the details were excellent. You did a great job on focusing that paragraph, so I have no suggestions there. However, when it comes to syntactic variety, this is really killing your writing right now. You rely on the short, very basic type sentence or grammar right now. So you need to work on, I think, 7.1, use both long and short sentences. 7.2, avoid overusing any one of the 4 sentence types. 7.3, change the word order 1 to 2 times during your writing. 7.4, use different kinds of subjects. And then the other is 8. Your paragraph unity is fine. So you understand the idea of a topic sentence. However, that last paragraph, I had to change it slightly because you tried to go in too many directions. But 8.2 cohesion, I want you to take a look at these cohesive devices, 8.2.1 to 8.29. I think those are some important things that you can do to improve your writing. Okay, so let's take a look at it one more time. At first glance, it seems very difficult for us to define You know what? I'm going to change this to a word order. So what the important qualities of a perfect roommate are. However, after serious considerations, we can see that under most circumstances, a perfect roommate should at least have an effective communication style, understanding, and optimism. So we have a thesis, and then we have your paragraph here I was looking at. First of all, a perfect roommate should be open and willing to communicate. There will be conflicts among roommates. When problems or conflicts arise, roommates must openly discuss the issue and quickly reach a solution to the problem. Last month, for example, I had a conflict with my roommate about the food. The food I kept in the fridge kept disappearing, which annoyed me. As a result, I wrote a note on the fridge. My food has been running away from home lately. If you know where it goes, please let me know. The next day, my roommate Jay apologized. His car broke down, so he couldn't go to the supermarket. Thus, he had been eating the food in our fridge without telling me he was sorry. He made a simple apology and I stopped being angry. This is the power of communication, which is why it is an important quality in a roommate. Effective communication can resolve all conflicts. Then your next topic sentence here. In addition, another important quality of a perfect roommate is considerateness. Now, how about this? Instead of repeating this, how about superior roommate? Lastly, the third important quality of how about just say a roommate without having to say perfect, is that she should be optimistic. So I think overall you had some minor problems. You remember the verb tenses, but for the most part, your grammar is actually pretty good. Just remember, syntactic variety and also a little bit better organization, especially perhaps by using transition words within the paragraph to better show the relationship of ideas.